know what the coaches say, but as players, were you guys kind of getting on each other, or was it pretty even keeled out there?
On the player, we were a little bit upset that
Yeah.
they had scored, but hey, that just brought us more focus and more drive to keep on going
Complete the game.
to complete the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Now, it was a tough game. I mean, they stayed true to what they wanted to do. They kept running the ball, and you guys tightened up, sealed it up, and basically allowed them to, for the most part, you guys just wore them out as they continue to do it. I mean, they grinded you guys hard, and it was a good running game. Would you say, I mean, in terms of determination, was that one of the most determined teams you had faced this year?
I would believe so. Yes, sir.
You have to look at it, Izzy, from this. I guess when I would like to throw to you is you had a lot of games, and I guess a lot of players kept getting dinged up because that offensive line was big. And now that you're transitioning to the next level, you're going to be facing big guys like that all the time. I mean, mentally, was that somewhere you're like, hey, man, this is that next level that I'm going to have to start looking at getting ready for?
Yes, and after speaking with the coach from Colorado, I had learned that it's from now to sometime in June that I have to get ready and get mentally prepared for the next level.
Now, he brought it up, Ivory.
Yeah.
I mean,
He walked us right into that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
As soon as he said that, my heart kind of stopped a tad bit. But let's go right there, Izzy. You took us right there, man. I mean, this week was all about early signing days, and the cameras and came out, and the news came out and saw you at Millwood and where you're making your decision. Pops, I know we're gonna get into that a little later on, but I mean, what came to that decision? Why the change? Everybody thought you were a lock at O State. What was the change? When did that change come about, if you know? And just talk to us about that.
It was a very, very tough decision to make, especially knowing that, my whole school, everybody is pretty much OSU fans.
Right.
And
Family.
and family too, right?
Yeah.
And that was a very tough decision to make. And it's not just the football program that made me want to commit. It's just the people, just the school in general. The academics they have there, and the people. They have really great coaches that I would love to get to know more. Coach Elliott, the defensive coordinator, and Coach Jeffcoat, a former Cowboy that has been in the NFL for 15 plus years.
Yeah, yeah.
And those are really great guys that I would really love to get to know.
Dwayne, coming to you real quick here, I want to throw that in here. It's always best about putting your child in the best situation possible. And you've been very instrumental in talking to him and making sure this was a good family decision that you needed to make. So once it was in the, you guys had come up that maybe we need to look at another option. Describe to me the process in that and how you as a family, came to that decision.
Thank you for the question. Israel and I really agonized over the choice, even when he made the commitment to Oklahoma State. So I have to talk about this a little bit more. So that decision, it was kind of the popular decision, so it's what Israel was doing for everyone else, for all the people that were around him. So what we finally had to do was talk about Israel. And after the Ole Miss situation with Hugh Freeze, and that stuff broke. Israel hadn't decommitted yet. We got in a truck and we drove over to the high school, to the football stadium. No one was there that day. I forget what day of the week it was. But we left our phones, we walked out to the middle of the field, and we knelt there and we prayed. And what we asked God that day is that the right situation would emerge, and that we wouldn't go through this maze trying to figure out our own way, blind, and making decisions that we felt like, that we, just on the surface that looked right. Because there's a lot of things you see. They show you a lot of things, and it's nice. There's a lot of niceties. You can't buy into those things.
All right.
You can't buy into even just coaches. Coaches change, we know that. So what we wanted to do was find a fit that worked for Israel. There's a few things that stood out to us, and I wanted to, they were little things. Inadvertently, on on our official trip in Colorado, we're driving after the Stampede is something they do on Friday nights in downtown Boulder. We're driving, and there's lots of people outside of the vehicle. The driver's driving us, and someone uses some foul language. And the guy says, "Boy, it's a good thing Coach Mack isn't around." I said, "Well, why not?" He said, "Because he'd make that guy put some money in the swear jar." I said, "What's the swear jar?"
Swear jar.
He said, "Oh, the coach keeps a jar in his office. If any of the coaches get caught using foul language, they have to put $5 in the swear jar."
All right.
I said, "Per day?" He said, "No, per occurrence." And he said, so I asked the coach about that. He said, "It has way too much money in the jar." And said he's had to put some money in the jar himself. So little things like that, that's a small thing, but it says a lot of character behind that,
Right.
Associated with that, with Israel's personality and how he is and how people, interact with him. And I know his personality with how he can get frustrated about certain things. He manages things pretty well. But the fact that we didn't hear any of that kind of language around their program, I was really impressed with that as a parent.
And you had to be excited about that.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, one of the things I want to also throw your way, Israel, is that you had always said that you wanted to play in a particular position and a role on the team. You had been playing D tackle, but you got moved around a lot during your days at Millwood. I can say that now because you're champion now. I can say that. But saying that, what excited you most about the opportunity when you were going to hit the field and play for Colorado?
What really excited me the most is that I'll be able to play as a defensive end, which is in fact a better position for me and my favorite position, because playing as D tackle, I'm facing, double teams and triple teams a lot. And at defensive end, I'm only facing just one guy.
And you kind of like that? You kind of like those odds, is it?
Yes, sir.
What about those chippy little running backs that kind of trying to help out those tackles out there that you got to worry about?
You think that'll pose a challenge?
You say throw them off to the side, huh?
It'll be something new to see, but
Yeah.
I'll work with it.
Now, also, I understand that you will also get a chance to play right away, and that also excited you and as a terms to play at Colorado as well, correct?
Yes, sir. That really excited me a lot to be able to play as a freshman. That the very first game of Colorado is at the Broncos NFL Stadium playing against Colorado State.
Mile high.
Yes, sir. That's very exciting to me.
Now, football on that high altitude, that'll be new for you also, right? You ever played football in Colorado before?
No, sir.
You think? I mean, I think that'll take getting some used to also, and just getting your conditioning and your breathing right in those high altitudes.
I want to say that for several years in a row, we visited Colorado for 4th of July. And, there's 53 peaks in Colorado.
Really?
They call it the 53.
Yeah.
So it's 53 peaks that are 14,000, I believe, if I'm correct, 14,000 feet and higher. Well, we've been to 3 of them.
Okay.
And so we're on our way. So we've spent some time in that high altitude, not high exposure to it. And trust me, it's real. I mean, that thin air is something. Dizziness and appetite change. There's a whole lot of things adjustments that take place there. And what Coach McIntyre is related to Israel and I is that he more than likely won't start as a freshman. They think by mid-season he will be taking the majority of the snaps, but they intend him to play day one, and because they think he's physical enough. But the acclimation time, they said he'll take a few weeks to get
used to it.
Yeah, to that thin air, and it's one thing just walking around; it's a whole nother when you're performing.
Right.
Now, I want to throw in there, we've talked about the athletic side, but as a parent, I'm going to watch your face when I ask this question. Okay. The academic side also excited you. When you and I talked a little bit off mic before concerning the academic structure at Colorado, and that excited you for support, just for making sure that he's well, in terms of Israel, is well acclimated and feels comfortable, because the collegiate experience isn't just about what happens on the field. It's also what happens in the classroom too.
Yeah, probably like 90% of it. So absolutely, I'm glad you brought that up. They have someone there that we didn't, and we visited many colleges we didn't see an individual like what they have there. I thought it was very unique. The graduation rate with their athletic program is 92%. It's pretty high.
I'd say so.
This lady, her name's Katie. She works exclusively with the incoming freshmen. She makes sure they don't miss practice. I mean, it is really hands-on. Every assignment, she travels with the team. She's on the sideline with the team. She eats breakfast with the team. She eats lunch with the team. She's very engaged in what happens with the freshmen. She keeps them together as a group, getting them to transition to the next levels. And that was extremely impressive for us because she had a high interest in his success. And so when we sat down with her and spoke with her individually, and it was difficult to think about. So yes, the commitment to Oklahoma State came after that visit.
Right.
But I gotta tell you, that kept coming up inside me as the thing
That
that
stuck with you.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
it did. Now, of all the schools we visit, the other school that had a very tight academic program and support was Oklahoma State. So that so there was a lot of parallels that that matched up. So I guess the thing that kind of edged out Oklahoma State in Israel's mind, and it's not really coaching as much as it was opportunity. Oklahoma State has a lot of depth at the D-line position, and continue to have. I know they've got some seniors and stuff and guys about to graduate. Colorado was very shallow at that position, so they were running I think about 6 or 7 guys before recruiting through. 3 guys signed this past signing day, and so even still the opportunity is very high. And we've looked at every guy there. Trust me, we did our homework on every single situation.
Right.
And so there's a high probability of Israel Antwine being on the field as a Colorado Buffalo next year, and getting it done in the classroom as well. So we're looking forward to what the success he'll have there.
Quick question for you, Israel. When you made the announcement this past Tuesday, you did it at school amongst family, friends, and of course the school itself. Talk to me about that experience and what did it feel like for you when you had that and to see their faces and the support. Because again, as Ivory's already pointed out, it's an Oklahoma State haven over there at Millwood. I mean, it's only a few people have come out and gone to Oklahoma State, only a few. But so how was the experience and what did you feel that you got from the coaching staff as well as the student body when you made your announcement?
I was very nervous at first, making that announcement to University of Colorado in front of a bunch of OSU fans.
Right.
And
You actually could have heard a pin drop.
Yeah.
yeah.
No
What
one.
was it a collective?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No one celebrated.
Yeah. No celebration.
And then,
Ouch.
then Coach Hayes, AD, he started that slow clap thing.
Right. The only one going, and everybody else had to join in. How was it? I mean, was that kind of rough? I mean,
it was a little bit rough, but I was, happy at the end because, they were all happy and excited for my success.
at the end of the day, listen, at the end of the day, we got another one of our student athletes going to that next level.
And
right?
it's special.
That's
and
the
Coach,
point.
Coach Franklin is probably one of the most humble people you'll meet when it comes to watching his players succeed. So I know regardless of where you chose to have that opportunity, he was standing there right there again, smiling, shaking your hand, happy because that opportunity doesn't come for everybody.
Absolutely.
But you got that opportunity and you had, and here's the thing about it, you got to choose. See, you didn't have to be forced an opportunity. You got a chance to choose. So I know that was special. And I'm sure you had a special moment with him about that.
I want to say something about Coach Franklin. He was really seriously ill that day, and he chose to come to the school anyway.
He should have been. That cold water you guys dumped on his head. Aubrey and I were talking about that, the cold water during the championship game. I said, now he won't feel it for the next 48 hours.
Oh,
but
man.
I mean, that cold, I said, and it was a direct shot. It wasn't like the back and all that. No, it was right over the head. I mean, it was, guys got him good this year.
They got him, and I guess it caught up to him because he's been sick for several days.
We'll hope that he gets better. I'm not, mocking the fact that he got hurt.
Now we only got a couple minutes, and Dwayne, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about this. Now, after the decision was made, there were some rumbles about how and who and when the information was supposed to be put out to the public, and how that went on kind of rubbed you the wrong way. You want to give us a couple of minutes of that?
Well, we hadn't had an opportunity to call Oklahoma State and communicate with them what Israel's decision would be. And so it kind of robbed us of that. And so everyone in the room was asked by the AD to not release any of the information until 8 o'clock the next morning.
All right.
And so someone in the room actually tweeted it before we left the room. So by the time we walked out of the room, my phone's ringing, the coaches over Midwest phones are ringing, and I just was curious of what had happened. And then one of the coaches told us that someone had already tweeted it. So the local news stations that were there called and said, "Hey, it's already out. Can we go ahead and air our story?" I appreciated their respect.
All right.
And I asked them, I said, "If you don't mind, will you hold it till tomorrow morning?" They said, "We'll do what you ask."
Okay.
And so ultimately, the gentleman that had leaked it called us and reconciled with us, and we're good with him.
Yeah.
So you know how sometimes you've heard that statement back in the old church, that what the devil meant for your harm.
Yeah. Right.
So it turned out that it wasn't necessarily as negative as we kind of initially thought, even though we had a lot to deal with as it related to Oklahoma State and that. But Israel's signing, I just was looked this morning, is at 87, almost 8,800 views of that signing video, which I thought was amazing.
Right.
And I thought, man, I don't know why they're looking at it so much. Maybe it's because the school bell went off before he left the school.
Right.
That was in the headline too. One story that I
didn't see
saw. One story was a video that I saw. Bell ring goes off as recruit signs his. I saw that. So, but that's good to say that even though you wanted all of the news folks and reporters that were in the room, you wanted them to please keep that information to themselves. Although it got leaked out,
Right.
somebody in the room had to do it. It's good to know that ultimately a good thing happened here, and I'm not gonna spoil this moment with a.
And I can't say that the person intended us harm as much as it was he was doing his job.
Right. There you
know
go.
what I mean? As media, you guys know, when you get information, you have obligation to release that information and get it to
That's
the public.
right.
And so in light of that, I understand this position and the position of that. So I don't, I'm not, we don't carry any hostility toward the organization or the individual. We're good with it.
We appreciate so much you guys coming on the show, and I hope that this sets the stage for you. We expect to see several more interviews with you, and we're happy that we were able to get one of these exclusive interviews with you and your father, Israel. And we hope that we'll be seeing more headlines of you going forward, getting interviewed at the end of Colorado games.
Yes, sir.
We are honored that you guys had us here,
Thank you for having us.
and we certainly appreciate your support, through the years that Israel's played high school ball. Thank
Oh,
you so
man.
much.
No problem.
Appreciate
Good
it.
luck.